Yup. So it was just 2 weeks ago that we learned Parshas Shemois, and that was the beginning of Golus Mitzrayim, and it's this week we're already reading about the Geula from Golus Mitzrayim, but in real life, obviously, it took a bit longer. We were Meshubed in Mitzrayim, according to Chazal, for 210 years, and that experience is something that we remember. We ought to remember. The Rambam says, as if he was in the Shibud Mitzrayim, and he came out of Mitzrayim. And every day we have a mitzvah of Schiras Yitzias Mitzrayim twice a day. And there are obviously many layers of meaning to what are we supposed to take out of this Zikaron of Yitzias Mitzrayim. I want to talk about one nekuda. You know, the izrizus, quickness, agility. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? You know, in Parshas Vayechi, Yaakov says, Ruvain b'choiri ato koichi v'reishis oini. Yes, so you were my firstborn. Yeser eis v'yeser oz. Not only should you have been the b'chor, you should also have had the kahuna. You should also have had the malchus, as Rashi explains. But pachaz kamayim al toisar. So what's pachaz kamayim al toisar? He lost everything because of the pachaz kamayim. Pachaz kamayim, says Rashi, ha-pachaz v'ha-beholo, which is like the quickness and the haste. Ashemiharto laharois kascho kamayim halolu hamemaharim limerutzosam. It's like the rush of water. So it would seem that the problem is not the particular thing that he did, but the quickness in itself. Pachas kamayim al toisar. As the pasuk says in the Mishle Yotes, v'otz biraglayim choitei. That he who quickens his feet is a sinner. The Metzudah says, "Va'otz hamamay biraglaim leleches el hamokoy mashenesoi liboy hine lechoyte yechoshiv." He's considered a sinner ki miharoi, because it's the right thing to do is lehisboinein tchila. Think it through before pen yavai mizeh dvar pesha. A person should think before he does. He shouldn't rush into doing things. So if this midah of quickness, which is really pachas, Rashi understands is the same, has the same meaning as chipozoin. If this is a neutral midah that can be used sometimes in the positive and sometimes in the negative, then we would think Reuven shouldn't need to lose the Bechorah just because he has this character trait. I mean, it could be channeled in the right direction. It would seem that this is a bad thing per se. But in our parsha, in the Achilas Korban Pesach, on the night of Yitzias Mitzrayim, it says, "V'kocha soichlu oisoi masneichem chagurim na'aleichem beragleichem umakelchem beyedchem v'achaltem oisoi b'chipozoin." Pesach Ula Hashem. In other words, their loins should be girded, their shoes should be on their feet, the staff should be in their hands. And v'achaltem, as Rashi says, in the name of the Mechilta, liyos mizumonim laderech, they should be ready to leave. V'achaltem oichsoi b'chipozo, and Rashi says, loshen beholo. Beholo, usually we use it in a negative context, but loshen beholo, umehirus, a lotion of haste and quickness. And when does this happen? This happens on the next pasuk says, "V'avarti be'eretz Mitzrayim balaylo hazeh v'hikesi kol bechor be'eretz Mitzrayim." This happens at the time of Makas Bechoros. And what's Makas Bechoros? You know, already in Parshas Shemois, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe Rabbeinu, "V'amartu el paroi, ko yomar Hashem, b'ni b'chori Yisrael." V'oimer elecha, shalach es beni v'yavdeni. V'atemoyin l'shalcha, you refuse to release my bechor. Hine onoichi hoireg es bincha b'choirecha. I will kill your bechor. So, b'ni bechor Yisrael, Rashi says in the second shot, which is based on the Midrash, that b'ni bechor Yisrael, Zokt Rashi, kan chosam HaKadosh Baruch Hu al mechiras ha-bechora. Here, Kaviyochel, Hashem signs off on the selling of the bechora. Shelokach Yaakov me Esav. Yaakov bought the bechora from Esav, and here that HaKadosh Baruch Hu refers to B'ni Bechora Yisrael. This is a confirmation of that sale. So that Makas Bechoros, which is the Hineni Hoireg es Bincha Bechorecha, because of the Pare's refusal to release the B'ni Bechora Yisrael, this is the final confirmation that Yaakov Ubanov are the Bechor. Kol Bechoreihem Horokto, Uvechorcha Yisrael Goalta. And what is the B'ni Bechora Yisrael doing at this moment when the Bechora is being confirmed? He's actually Vachaltem Oisoi Bechipozoi. So Ruvain loses the Bechora because of the Pachas Kamayim. And we become Bechorim as we are in a state of Chipozoi. So what does that mean? How are we to understand this? The truth is that the whole Chipozoi of Achilas HaPesach is really hard to understand. I mean, it's more than hard to understand. We were told that we should eat it Mosneichem chagurim, na'aleichem beragleichem, umakelchem beyedchem. As the Mechilta said, we should be mizumonim laderech. But the Pesach was eaten at night before Chatzos. When did they leave Mitzrayim? The Torah says, "Vayihi miketz shloshim shana v'arba meis shana vayihi be'etzem hayoyim hazeh yotzu kol tzivois Hashem me'eretz Mitzrayim." The Yitzhak from Mitzrayim was on the next day. So what was the rush? At night, before Chatzos, in the eating of the Korban Pesach, they had Masleichem Chagurim, Na'aleichem Biragleichem, Umakelchem B'yetchem, Liois Mizumonim Laderech. So it would seem that Chipozoin is really more a state of mind that that expressed itself in the fashion that they ate the Korban Pesach than it's a course of action. I mean, Chipozoin, Zrizus, is to be ready to do what needs to be done in the right time. This Chipozoin not only does it not undo Bechora, but it qualifies Bechora. You know, doing it right away is more important than doing it the right way is more important than doing it right away. Ruvain was born the first, but nevertheless Yosef became the Bechor. Esav was born the first, but nevertheless Yaakov Ubanov became the B'ni Bechor Yisrael. You can actually come last and be first. The Geula from Mitzrayim appears in the Parsha of HaChodesh Hazeh Lochem. And Avada, it's not a coincidence. The Sforno says, HaChodesh Hazeh Lochem. It's yours. Mikan ve'elech yiyu hachadoshim shalochem. From here on, the months, which represent time, will be yours. Lasois bahem kirtzoinchem. To do with your time what you please. Avol b'yemei hashibud lo yhoyu yemeichem shalochem. During the shibud, your days were not your own. Avol hoyu la'avodas acherim. It was in the service of others. Uritzoinam. You had to please others. Lefichach. Rishon hu lochem lechotche hashana. Ki hoisa ki hischil mitziusam hapchiris. From this point on, they have choice, and therefore the time is theirs. I just want to add, the truth is that Chodesh Tishrei is the first. Rosh Chodesh Tishrei is Rosh Hashanah, but nevertheless, Rosh Chodesh Nisan became the Rishon L'Chodshei Hashanah. We count time from the time that time became ours. When we're in control of time, yeah, that includes that we could also redefine time. And Tishrei is no longer the first. We make Nisan the first. We're not dependent on the chronological order, on the technical order. The Nisan comes late, but we make it first. The Medrash says in this week's parsha, "Mishe bochar HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba'olamai, kova b'y roshei chadoshim v'shonim." HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose His world. He established roshei chadoshim v'shonim. Mishe bochar b'Yakov u'vonov, kova b'y rosh chodesh shel geula. So Nisan becomes the first when Yaakov becomes the first. Because Geula is really all about mind over matter. On the words Masneichem Chagurim, the Seforno writes, Mizumonim laderech, Lahoirais al bitochoin bilti mesupik, that they had full confidence and trust in the Rebbeinu Shalom Bakel Yisbarach, behiyois mechinim atzmam laderech, ba'oidam bebeis kela. They were still in the base kela, and they were so sure that they're leaving that they were masneichem chagurim na'aleichem beragleichem umakelchem beyetchem. And in this sense, they became redeemed even before the physical redemption. The external leaving of Mitzrayim tomorrow was only an expression of the inner geula that they already achieved with the masneichem chagurim na'aleichem beragleichem umakelchem beyetchem. As the Gemara says in Brachas Daf Tesam Adalev Tanya Nami Hochi, there's a pasuk in Parshas Re'eh that says Hoitziacha Hashem mi Mitzrayim loylo. The pasuk says in Parshas Re'eh, Hashem took you out of Mitzrayim at night. Frek the Braise v'chi balai lo yotzu. Did they leave at night? V'haloi lo yotzu ela bayoim. They only left during the day. Shenemar, the pasuk says in Parshas Masei, b'chamisha oso yoim lachodesh harishon mimocharos ha-Pesach. The day after they brought their korban Pesach, yotzu b'nei Yisrael b'yad Rama. Elo melamed shehischilo lahem geula mi'ba'erev. That the geula began in the evening. In other words, that bitochen, that brought about a mental geula, and only because they were mentally free were they able to become free in a physical sense also. So the hischila lahem geula miba'erev is really with the masneichem chagurim na'aleichem beragleichem u'makelchem beyetchem. That's the chipazon. The chipazon is a state of mind. Rosh Chodesh Nisan, immediately after Moshe Rabbeinu tells Klal Yisrael the tzivui of the korban Pesach, that they should acquire the lamb on the 10th day of Nisan, they should shecht it on the 14th day, they should eat it on the night of the 15th. It says, Vayelchu vayasu b'nei Yisrael kasher tziva Hashem es Moshe v'Aaron keinosu. They went and they did. But there was nothing to do yet. Yeah, this was Rosh Chodesh Nisan. So, what did they go and what did they do? Rashi says, "V'chi kvar osu, v'haloi me'Rosh Chodesh nem alohem," and there was nothing to do at that point. Elomi kevan shekiblu aleim lasis. Since they took upon themselves to do mala aleim hakosuv ki'ilu osu, the Torah considers it as if they did it. So, why is this general rule written in the context of the mitzvah's korban Pesach dafka? I mean, this applies to every mitzvah. Yeah. So, but korban Pesach is about the celebration of redemption. So it's here that the Torah emphasizes that liberty begins with the freedom to choose to do the right thing. And Memela, it's Vayelchu Vayasu B'nei Yisrael Kashetziva Hashem Es Moshe Kain Osu. That's where their mind was. That's where they were. And just like the Hischila Lahem Geula Mi Ba'erev, in spite of the fact that they left Mitzrayim physically only the next day, but that was already the beginning of the Geula Mi Ba'erev. So we say, Vayotzienu mitoicham lecherus olam, that the Rebbeinu Shalom took us out of Mitzrayim to eternal liberty. But how is that? I mean, the Jewish people have been through many, many difficult golios throughout the centuries. How can we say Vayotzienu mitoicham lecherus olam? But if the mind is free, we are free, and therefore the no golus can actually take away from us that inner freedom, the cherus olam that we achieved with Yetzias Mitzrayim. Rabbi Say, I want to seize this opportunity to wish you all a guten Shabbos.